Hey, and there we are live on Brunch with Brian this morning. And so, how's it going? Today, I wanted to talk about keys on closing calls. Guys, what's the most important 10 to 15 minutes? Sometimes it's only 5 minutes of every deal you do. It's the closing call. So much of our focus in the pretty house, in the creative financing world, in the buy and hold world when you're buying with creative financing, is the closing call. And what does the closing call really come down to? Following great scripts. I mean, so much of it is just finding the very best script to close that deal and then sticking to it. We absolutely have the best scripts for that. You already know that. Most of you guys know that I used to work in Hollywood, and for 7 years I wrote screenplays. I wrote about 20 movies and about a dozen TV episodes. So I really captured how people talk. So I know how people talk. So my hair's kind of crazy today. So I know how people talk, and I know how what you need to say. I also studied neuro-linguistic programming and all kinds of sales courses and that. And it really comes down to what you say. That's why we named our system, our core system, the what to say and what to do system. It's basically scripts and checklists that carry the day in this business. But on these closing calls, it really boils down to these scripts. So the scripts are the key. Being good at the scripts is crucial. So, I mean, if you get good at this 2.5 pages, it's not brain surgery, it's not a lot of mystery. When you get good at this 2.5 page seller finance and closing call script in our what to say and what to do system, and then you read that script to enough sellers, that's what leads to success. So it's not a mystery. It's just you have to find enough sellers. Now, maybe a year ago, it was harder to find sellers, motivated sellers who were willing to take monthly payments. Remember, that's in the scripts. A key point is that we're not complicating it. We're not making it sound difficult. We're not using words like subject to, or, we don't even say, there's a lot of words we don't say because we don't want to complicate it. We want to keep it very simple. What's the simplest way? Hey, here's a line straight out of the scripts, comma. Sometimes it works out best by doing something with payments. Okay, so the key is monthly payments, and that's a big part of the script. So today on Teaching Tuesday, it's Tuesday. So on Teaching Tuesdays today, we're going to go over my top money-making keys to closing calls. Top money-making keys to closing calls, getting the deal closed. And so some of you guys know we actually have a system called Closing Calls Live where we have a whole bunch of calls with a lot of commentary in that. That's a really powerful program. I'll probably refer to that a little bit today as I go through the keys to making killer closing calls. Actually, that's what we used to call that system, the keys to making killer closing calls. So a lot of great tips today. Remember, Teaching Tuesdays is always at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and then repeated 3 hours later. So 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Pacific. So get on board with that. For sure, this is a crucial one because that's the key to making money in this business is getting on the phone, talking to sellers in the beginning, doing closing calls. So we've got about 2-3 weeks before Christmas. It's doable that you can absolutely find a deal and get it closed before Christmas. You could find a deal and get it closed tomorrow in this business. You just got to get on the phone with a FSBO, use our fantastic FSBO script. And do you know that's a line right out of the FSBO script? Sometimes it works out best by doing something with payments. That's the line right out of the FSBO script that you should be saying. When I say that line, you should go, oh, I recognize that line. I say that all the time, every time I do a FSBO call. So guys, let's get serious about making a lot of calls and getting a lot of results. Give me some thumbs up and let's see, Isabel, you're here. Mike, Roger, good to see you here. So good to see everybody. Make sure you're on Teaching Tuesdays later today. So closing calls, I cash in on closing calls. Okay, that's where you make your money. So let's do an affirmation. I cash in on closing calls. That's our affirmation for today. Ready? 3 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I cash in on closing calls. I cash in on closing calls. I cash in on closing calls. Okay, so how many closing calls? I want you to talk to at least 10 sellers a week in the beginning until you got a couple deals cooking. So that's not that many, and that's less. That's like 1.5 a day. You could sit down and call and talk to, if might be a little bit of a marathon session, but you could make 10 calls, in one sitting. So talk to 10. Now a closing call, leaving a message doesn't count. What's a legal closing call? You have to at least talk to them and at least mention monthly payments. Would you consider taking monthly payments? Some kind of a reference to that. I don't want you saying, would you sell us the house on seller financing? They don't know what that is. That would just confuse them. That's why we always keep to the right scripts and say, would you consider taking monthly payments? That's the key. So monthly payments, write those two words down, monthly payments. We're going to go over a lot of more great tips today on our Teaching Tuesdays call. Okay, let's start deep breathing. Nice deep breath in. Hold a little bit and exhale. Always a big smile. Nice deep breath in. Hold. When you let it out, kind of rotate your shoulders, your neck, help you loosen up. Think about loosening up. Another deep breath in. That's the way to start the day. Feel awesome, get energized. Do that anytime during the day to pick yourself up. Great pick me up. All right, so let's have a great day, guys. Let's make a lot of money. Let's get on the phone and make closing calls, and make sure you're on Teaching Tuesdays later today, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, repeated 3 hours later. So until I see you on Teaching Tuesdays, keep expecting success, getting awesome training right here, and of course, doing what? Taking action. Okay, I'm having a little trouble with my computer, and